Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And today I want to show you how I made this really pretty card featuring the Grassy Grove Bundle from Stampin' Up! This is such a pretty bundle and it's so easy to make some great cards because the dies just make it so easy. The other thing, you can combine it with other things like the New Horizon Designer Series paper, had to think of the name, which is part of the New Horizons product suite. But that background Designer Series paper, it makes it so easy. I haven't used that today, but it is so easy for you to combine this particular bundle along with that Designer Series paper. All right, let me switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. So if this is the first time you're finding me on YouTube, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. Don't forget to check me out on stampingwithmelva.com. And while you're on my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get notified when I do videos. So this is the card that I created and shared as part of the Share It Sunday blog hop today. It was pretty easy to do, other than the die cutting. This background die cut just makes it so easy to make some great cards. I've stamped a kind of image behind it in soft succulent, added the deer, and then of course the sentiment, and then some layers on here. And it was pretty easy. So let me show you how I made it. All right, I've got my bundle here. So again, this is great. These images are 90% of actually what they are. So they are bigger when the stamps are bigger. Make sure you take that into account when you're planning your card. And I've used this as the background. And then of course this deer and this thank you sentiment. And then these are the dies. So this is the background image that cuts that great kind of grove of trees. And then the only other die I've used on here is this one to cut the deer out once I've got it stamped. All right, let's do some stamping. So here's my supplies. I've got a piece of evening evergreen cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5, and I have scored it already at 4 1/4. And I always say fold into the mountain. So this is the side I scored on. So this is, you can feel the raised line. That for me is the mountain. So always go fold into that raised line. Just grab your bone folder, give it a good crease. And that's your card base. I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. Now I've already gone ahead. Oh, I haven't. There we go. I thought I had gone ahead and cut scores. Let's do this. There's it. Stamped. I'm going to stamp in soft succulent, and I am stamping this great, this is that whole background stamp, or background trees and kind of grassy area. So we're going to stamp this in soft succulent. Got my stamp, and we're going to stamp it about 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch or so from the bottom. There we go. That's about 1 inch from the bottom, just so that it shows in the die cut area. Now I've got a piece of evening evergreen that I have cut. This is cut 3 3/4 by 5, and we are going to use, this is that grove with the trees die cut. So just lay that in the center. I am going to use just a piece of Post-it note tape. You could use a piece of a Post-it note just to hold this in place like that. And then I'm going to die cut it. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to stamp my deer at the same time. And that way I can cut them out together. I'm going to stamp my deer in soft suede. Just stamp him down in the corner. And where's my die cut? So we can die cut him out. And again, I'm going to use just a little piece of the Post-it note tape to hold that in place, just so it doesn't shift as you're stamping. There we go. All right, now I can let me just bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. the plates are here. So we can run these two things through together. So let's put this on like that. And then this piece can go, let's make sure that hasn't shifted. There we go. And just run these through. This is going to make a bit of a noise as it goes through. There we go. Oh, didn't make too bad. Sometimes it makes a really loud bang, and I don't like that, but didn't today. All right, so that's this off. And now we've got our die cut pieces. So we can peel off this gently, save the Post-it note tape. And these all, we'll clean these little pieces out. And then now we've got our deer. And save mine. Okay, so we've got our deer cut. And now I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. Just find it works really well to get all of the little bits out of these detailed. You can also use the brush end. So if you've got the extra brush end and the foam mat, that works really well. I just don't have mine handy here. So there is a extra add-on for your Take Your Pick tool that is a rolling brush. Comes with a foam mat, and you just put the foam mat underneath this piece and then roll the brush over it, and it will clean all of these really detailed pieces out, save you having to poke out like I am. I don't know. For me, there's something therapeutic about poking all these little bits out. There we go. I think I've got everything. Okay. Clean these up. There we go. Okay. So now let's bring back. So there's my card base. There is my piece that I've stamped. So we're just going to adhere this piece down. I'm using liquid glue. You can use whatever your favorite adhesive is. That goes on like that. And then this piece also lays on flat. So you can use liquid glue for this, or you could use some Stampin' Seal. Still got little bits in here. It's funny how you always see them. Okay, now for this you want to make sure you're not getting it. One, you don't get too much, and two, you don't get it too close to the edge. I'm just putting it top and bottom. Just don't want my glue to kind of splodge all over the place. So just put it, there we go. Isn't that pretty? Just nice little background. And then this grove of trees is just so pretty. Now we're going to use, the deer is going to go on like that. I'm just going to use a couple of dimensionals to hold my deer in place. So my deer can go kind of right like that. You could put another deer in behind if you wanted to. Now I have gone ahead and cut. So I've gone ahead and I've stamped my sentiment. I've used the thank you sentiment from this stamp set. I've gone ahead and stamped it on a scrap of basic white cardstock. And then I've used, this is the double oval punch. So you can punch out this scallop shape, scallop oval, which I've done in soft suede. And then my sentiment I've stamped and then done, it's out of basic white. Great punch, because you can punch both sizes together that fit perfectly so that you get a matted oval. There you go, like that. So I'm just going to add a couple of more dimensionals to the back. And then this piece we're just going to put down here. Now, I love to use embellishments, And I have some of, I don't have a lot of these left. These are the brushed metallic embellishments, and they are copper, brass, and then, I don't know, I should gold, copper, brass, I think is what they are. I think I've only got a few of this one left. This is kind of the, what I would call, I don't know what this is, brass maybe. It's kind of got the greeny tone to it, and it seems to go nicely with when I've got the soft succulent, soft succulent, the soft suede, and then the evening evergreen. So we're just going to put 3 on like that. And then the last thing is, I've already gone ahead. I've got a piece that is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have stamped this one. This is just going to be for the inside of the card. I like to finish the insides of my cards. And so we will just have this kind of grassy area on the bottom of the card. And oops. One of the nice things about the liquid glue is if it shifts, it's easy to move back. It's much more forgiving than the Stampin' Seal or tear and tape. There. Pretty card, fairly easy, a little bit of die cutting, but not a ton. And like I said, the dies make it so easy with this Grassy Grove that it's not a really hard card to make. All right, hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions and you're watching the video, just leave a comment underneath my video. Oh, I'm sorry if you're hearing that. There's a motorcycle just gone by. If you have any questions, leave them underneath this video. The link to my blog post, which will have all of the written instructions, measurements, and supply list, will be underneath this video. And so you will be able to go out there and get more information. But if you find your way out to my blog and have a question, just leave a comment on my blog. I'm happy to help. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done already, so that you'll be notified when I do upcoming videos or when I go live. Or if you are out on my blog, you can subscribe to my newsletter so that you would get my newsletters when I share the information. Or you can even subscribe to my blog so you will be notified when my blog posts go live. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Happy stamping.